Can you eat meat and be healthy? Let's talk about it. I'm RL Melpica, the Eat Coach. Thank you for joining my channel. I'm a natural health and diet specialist, and this is a question that is looming on the minds of many. I've been asked it, I can't even count the amount of times I've been asked this question throughout my coaching, throughout just my entire journey into natural health. And it is something that I feel like it needs to be cleared up. But first and foremost, if you want to get notified of any time I drop any new videos on natural health and diet, make sure you hit that subscribe button in your lower right hand corner. And if this video resonates with you, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And I always love to be interactive, so feel free to comment as well. But back to the topic. Can you eat meat and be healthy? Well, I think this starts with the foundation of that question. What is health? Because I feel like the goalpost has been moved. They've been moved so many different times for so many different reasons, so many different agendas. Because health is ultimately balance within your body. It is homeostasis. It is what your body strives to achieve every moment of its existence, right? That's what your body tries to do. We are a self-healing organism. It is trying to reach homeostasis. And throughout our habits, whether it be the air that we breathe, the environment we're in, and obviously the food that we eat, even the relationships that we're in from an emotional standpoint, all of that has an effect, and it takes away from our body and our existence. While our body is trying, our energy is trying, our consciousness is trying to reach homeostasis. Long-winded format here. What I'm trying to say is that health is more about what the food you're eating is taking away from you versus what it's actually giving you. So let me break this down, especially when it comes to meat. So the question, can you be healthy, or can you eat meat and be healthy? The answer is no, you cannot. Because every time you eat meat, you are taking something away from yourself. You are taking steps back on that journey towards homeostasis, right? So when you look at health and exactly what it is, no, you cannot be healthy and eat meat, or you cannot eat meat and be healthy. So let's talk about meat in general, because the big thing is protein. That's the cell. That's what you see on TV when you go out to a restaurant and you order a salad, or you order any pasta meal, whatever type of meal you order, and they ask you, well, what kind of protein do you want? Protein has been fixated in our heads as something that is just incredibly important that we get from our food. All right, so let me break this down for you. When you're eating a piece of meat, you're eating a piece of chicken, you're eating a piece of fish, right? And I'll stick with beef because that seems to be the most popular meat in America. You gotta ask yourself, okay, well, where does the protein come from? Well, so that cow is eating the grass and is getting the amino acids from the grass. It's taking the amino acids from the grass, and those essential amino acids that it's receiving, it is building into cow proteins, okay? Then that cow is slaughtered. And then through the whole process, whatnot, it ends up in your grocery store, and you buy that piece of meat, you cook it, you consume it. So all that cow protein is now digested into your human body. Well, now your human body has to break that cow protein down into, just to salvage some of the amino acids from that cow protein and build them into human proteins, right? That is a lot of work. That is second level protein per se, and it is exhausting to your body. That's why meat is one of the longest lasting digestive processes that we have. The meat can stay in your digestive system from 8 to 24 hours, and if you're mixing it with other things, sometimes even longer, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, once again, what is the meat taking away from you on this race and path towards balance and homeostasis, right? So looking at it from that perspective, it is obvious that eating meat, you cannot be healthy if you're eating meat. plain and simple. Or I should say, if you're eating meat, can you be healthy? No, right? Because it's pulling you back. That's all this is, constantly pulling you back. So I hope that helps you from the protein standpoint and understanding the protein aspect. Because look, we as humans, we create our own protein within the body. We take the amino acids and build them into proteins. Those are builders. But we only need the essential amino acids, and those are available in all of our fruits, right? And our leafy greens and some nuts and some seeds. Those are the optimal ways to get your amino acids, which build into protein. So understanding that lets you know, okay, from an energy efficiency standpoint, man, no, that is not helping me on my path to getting towards health. But then you also look at meat, and you could put it in chronometer, or you want to break down the nutritional value of it. It's really giving you, obviously, a shitload of protein and fat. And neither one of those are energy efficient within your body. Those are both pulling you back. You are what you eat, right? If you eat a shitload of protein, you're going to cause your body a shitload of pain. Because remember, protein breaks down to what? Amino acids. Acids are destructive. When you have so much acid going on in your body, that is not a good thing. Those are things that cause agglomulation within the lymphatic system, causes inflammation, so on and so forth. Causes pain. I say proteins cause pain, fat causes fat. And we've talked about fat before. Remember, you are what you eat. You eat a lot of fat, you're going to have fat. Why? Because fat is designed to be stored for future consumption in times where you would not be able to salvage any food, right? People went weeks upon weeks without being able to get food due to climate or whatever the case may be, and the body could feed off the fat. Well, we're not in those times right now. So it is not needed in that capacity. So, when you look at the optimal diet of 80% carbs, at the most 10% fat, 10% protein, you start to see how this comes into play. So looking at all that, I think it obviously answers the question that if you're eating meat, you cannot be healthy. And I'm sorry to say that, because I know there's a lot of meat eaters out there, but it is what it is. That's not to say that you can't make changes and get closer to that gold standard of health, right? We're all on that path, and I feel confident in saying there's not a soul on this planet that has achieved absolute homeostasis day in and day out, 24/7, 365. But in that race, if you look at it like one of those carnival games, a little horse race, right? The ones that are not eating meat and are not eating processed foods, right, and are on that raw journey that implement more raw foods than cooked foods, are much closer to homeostasis than those that don't. So that's how you have to look at it. Quit looking at health like, man, if I eat more healthy things, or I should say, if I continue to eat meat, but I have a salad once in a while, that I'm healthy. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, right? Like, getting to that gold standard, absolutely difficult. 100% understandable if you're not at that gold standard. I'm not at that gold standard. But it's a journey. It's a journey. And when you eat meat, when you eat processed food, when you eat a bunch of starches and a bunch of cooked foods, you are pulling yourself back even further. And that is where things like chronic inflammation and diseases and sicknesses and all these different symptoms come into play, because your body's going to do everything in its power to get you as close to homeostasis as possible. Hope that makes sense. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. I know I might catch some flack for this one, because there's a lot of meat eaters out there that follow me. And hey, let's talk about it. At the end of the day, this is all about learning. I was a meat eater going on 7 years ago. So I completely understand it. But just realize, when we see things on TV and we hear about protein, understand what you're consuming. Don't just take it at face value. Do some research, and hopefully I can shed some light on some of this stuff for you guys. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Would love to hear what you have to say. And until next week, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Peace, love, and light, everybody.